Mountview Primary.
This report is basically just to seek approval for the our second 40k speed zone outside Mountview Primary, and we need council resolution because it is a change in speed limit from 50k's to 40k's.
Okay. Just a couple of questions. I know it's important in front of schools and what have you. I just couldn't quite find it in here unless I didn't read it right, but this is, there's already one outside Taupo in Spa Road.
Yes.
They cost around about $50,000.
We've just got a couple of quotes in, and it's about $30,000.
30, it says in here 40 to 50, but it's 30. Of the $30,000, what's Taupo District Council's actual share of cost?
It's 53%.
We pay 52%?
53.
And who pays the other, MOE or transit or who?
NZTA subsidise our minor improvement.
So not only do we have to pass a resolution because of the speed limit changing bylaw, we have to pass a resolution to spend the money. Well, it's in the budget, but it's our money.
It's in the budget, yeah.
Okay. Councillor Downer?
Yeah, obviously you've got a budget to do so many a year and you prioritise the three that you want to do. But in the long term, is there other schools? Because obviously some of the other schools fit those criteria, because I'd love to see 40k's on all of our schools.
Yes, so would I, but we've got a limited budget, so we're working through a program. We've surveyed all the schools. The schools that meet the new NZTA warrant have high priority. The ones that don't meet that warrant, we're looking at active warning signs.
Okay, so out of all those schools, you've only found those three? They're not your top priority three?
It's only those three, yeah.
Only those three.
Mr. Williams has just pointed out, for your benefit, or for everybody's benefit, Councillor Downard, we can put 40k speed limits outside every school in this town. We're only discussing those 40k visual things that flash at you up Spa Road. If you wanted to make a resolution to put 40k's outside the schools in this district, you have that right to do it. But the actual piece of machinery, that big flashing neon thing, that's 30k, yeah?
So that's the extra cost, really.
Yeah, that's extra cost. But you can go 40k and just put a 40k sign there if you pass the bylaw.
I just think all our schools, I mean, the criteria in there that I read, it was over 383 from NZTA, wasn't it? And then 50% Presbyterian crossing, like movement, isn't it? So there's quite a few schools that actually fit into that. So I just wondered whether those were just your priority top three, or you're only doing those three.
These are our top priority ones.
Your Worship, just as a matter of interest to the fellow councillors, I happened to go up there to do a presentation for the Rugby World Cup that time, and the principal took me outside this school, and it was horrific just before the school was coming, that there's no traffic zones and traffic was whipping along there. So I went to Claire and I said this, and she said it was on their radar, and I'm glad to see it's done. But I agree with Councillor Downard that there must be other schools that have the same problem of over-speeding traffic outside schools. Thank you.
Councillor Johnson?
We get the same effect by having a visual sign that said 40 rather than the high-tech flashing sign. I mean,
you possibly would through the chair. You possibly would for a little while, but it's because it flashes. It's not static.
So what would be the cost of static signs?
30,000 each.
No, that's the flash one. Just a normal sign.
Probably about $1,000 per sign.
Well, as a department, I know that would love to revenue gather in them.
I'll move.
Move the resolution on page 6 bar 3, basically saying that the 40k variable speed limit to be installed outside Mountview Primary and added to Schedule 12 of the Speed Limit Bylaw 2011 and erecting those neon signs. So move Councillor Downard. Seconded Councillor Crate. All those in favour? Aye. Carried. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Through the Chair, if you like it, we'll bring a paper to the next meeting in respect of 40k speed limit not necessarily flash signs.
Once you make it law, I mean, it's not our job to make people adhere to the law. There's another government department that does that. They drive around those yellow and white cars. But if you make it a bylaw, it's a bylaw. It becomes the law. Councillor Downer? Oh, yeah, Councillor Mincher.
That's all right, Mayor. Yeah, on that issue, actually, it was at Land Transport the other day. They're trialling streets in some of the regions like Hamilton and stuff like that.
of all the street network being 40 k's, because they just feel that's a speed that, you know, in the future that we'd like to drop down to. So an example, it's a step in the right direction with land transport anyway, to encourage far safer streets, especially around schools. So they'd be more than happy to see that.
That'd be very kind, Mr. Van Hender. If at some time in the near future we could have a paper on that, that'd be good. In the meantime, this one's all go. Hopefully it'll be done before school reconvenes 2012. Thank you, Ms. Allen. Item number 7, short-term licences for water-based recreation on Lakefront Reserve. Ms. Rowley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm sure you'll all recall the last council meeting where you passed a resolution to allow further licences for commercial recreation along the lakefront. We have 2 applicants. I have Mr. Glenn Isles and Lance Gilbertson here, so they are available to answer any questions if you have any. And I've distributed a bit of information around just before the meeting, just to provide a bit more information about what it is they want to do. But essentially what they would like to do is have a short-term licence. Mr. Gilbertson would like to operate stand-up paddle boards and hire them out down opposite the end of Pātaka Street. And Mr. Isles would like to have motorised water sports, which is essentially kneeboarding, wakeboarding, water skiing and banana boat rides, operating from the beach a little bit further up this way, opposite about number 110.
Can councillors have a peace of mind that these are far enough apart not to cross-pollinate each other in the way of running each other over and all the dramas that could come with a thing like this? Because, I mean, we all want to see this sort of thing in Taupo, but we just want to make sure that we get it right, and I'm sure you as a council officer have studied this. So can you give us a peace of mind that it's all self-regulatory and we're not going to have any untoward accidents or incidents over the summer period?
They'll be sufficiently separated. We have the swim-only zone, which ends at the coffee cart, and then there's a separation distance, and to be honest, I haven't measured it, but there is a gap before the paddle boards, which is non-motorised, and then there's another considerable gap before you get to the motorised craft. And of course, the motorised craft will have to obey the speed restriction of 5 knots.
Goes to 200 yards.
Yeah, within 200
metres. Will they put some boys out there so we don't have a mistake of where 200 yards is?
There's boys out there already.
They're there, are they? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Councillor Craig?
Can I ask, do they have safety motorised craft?
Yes.
They do, the 2 operators?
Sorry, you have a kayak, don't you?
Yep, you're more than welcome. Come forward with Ms. Charlotte if you like, sir.
Yeah.
I can just stand here. Thank you, councillors. My online skills in our sports is stand-up paddleboarding. How I've put this forward, we run a similar business in Auckland out of St Heliers Bay. That's predominantly where our main shop is. And we do all our rescuing via a kayak. I have a background in surf lifesaving, and that's all you need. Predominantly, most of the people using the paddleboards will be beginners. From the shoreline out is about 50 metres where it's not even above your waist, and our recommendations are to people using the craft is to stay within those sort of areas. 2 things: to stay close to us so we can keep an eye on them, and also that they're not outside the zone where the power boats are infringing upon those areas. The rescue craft that I have is a kayak, and it's basically a rescue tube that I can go out and just pull someone back to.
Councillor Downo?
Is there kayaks running off around about that area again, or was that just wasn't there kayaks down there?
Canoe and Kayak have surrendered their licence.
They have. So is that virtually where the paddleboard will be going, where they used to go?
Pretty much, yeah.
Any councillors have any questions of anybody? Councillor Johnson?
The Ironmen swim, are they within the 200 metre buoy normally?
They are, yes.
Because that's the only thing I can see is that swimmers outside where there's a higher than 5k.
That's the day of Ironman.
I'm worried about the day, I'm worried about the training.
The training. By law, I have a spotter on the boat for observing the towing. When we're going out, I'd also be getting a spotter on the front to watch out the trainers. But it's not unusual for us to come across swimmers more than 200 metres out
out Whariwaka, there's heaps of swimmers out there during summer. You just got to be careful with your boat going out.
Through the chair, Mr. Mayor, the answer to Councillor Johnson's question is that we set up this kilometre-long swim zone, safe swim zone, expressly for the purpose of people swimming practicing for Cross Lake swim and also for Ironman. So they have got that as a designated no motorised area. I'm right there because
The swim zone has recently been extended, I understand, from the coffee cart right down to the Sea Scout Hall. So that's where the swim zone will operate. So this side of the coffee cart is not dedicated swim zone.
well, it's got it here, safety swim. It's got swim zone here,
Yes.
but no motorised craft.
Yes.
That's what we had a meeting with the harbour
Yes.
master for,
And
with
that's-
my Ironman hat on.
And that's where it's located,
Yeah.
in
So
that
they
area.
swim from there down to the Sea Scouts now.
Okay, well, in the interest of moving along, I apologise for calling you Miss Charlton before Miss Rawley. I apologise. In the interest of moving along, it's just I want to be, and I'm sure my fellow councillors agree with us here, there have been episodes in the past where we've lost lives in Lake Taupo. One of them I can remember when we had the jetty thing out there and a kid fell off and hit his head and we found him an hour later drowned and what have you. So where there's water and there's moving articles and things like that, there are elements of danger. But I'm very, very aware that this lake is here for all of us to enjoy. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm totally behind it. But I do re-emphasise that management need to make sure that processes are put in place that we don't have to say I'm sorry for something later. Councillor Mencher, get you mixed up.
I'm still concerned that 150 metres from the main swim zone, and then inside that zone you're going to be paddleboarding around. I'm like, it's such a popular spot for swimming regardless, and also like Ironman training, etc., that you could not pick a better spot. Sorry, you could improve your spot around further where there is more water activity, where there's more in and out. 150 metres is still very close to a real active swimming area, our main swimming area really.
But Councillor Minch, at the end of the day, the onus and the blame or anything like that is always on the operator. There is navigation and maritime rules that they have to.
It's easy to say.
Anybody can come onto this beach at 5 miles an hour and go off it again at 5 miles an hour.
It's easy to say, Rick, but it's a a constant activity all day. For example, with a lot of activity and speed, which is right close to one of the main thoroughfare for swimming. Whereas, like the sailing centre, for example, slightly further around the lake, people are used to activity there. The boats go in all the time. There's the wharf right. There's a jetty right there. This is it's a highly active area. I don't see it as being the best spot they could choose.
You obviously wanted to address the concern of Councillor Mincher.
Yes,
speedboat, not the.
With the paddleboarding, I'm fairly proficient at it, and I swim fairly well, and it's about the same speed as what I swim at.
To be honest, paddleboarding is not my concern. It's even you're inside that zone of 150
That's
metres.
right. I just think it's a relationship and respect for all users of the lake. Obviously, we want to build a rapport with the council, and we don't want issues like that at all, which we would govern with the people using them, giving them an outline of guidelines to use correctly.
I'm not concerned about the paddle. I think that's great to be able to surf on days like Saturday. But it's more the speed issue, with the boat. There's banana rides, etc.
Basically, maritime law states we have to do, we can only do a maximum of 5 knots from here to 200 metres out. When I had my meeting with Alison, I said, I won't even be observing that. I'll be going as slow as possible until I get 200 metres out. I'm very conscious there are swimmers there. But like I also said, we quite regularly come across them in the corner further 200 metres out. It's a case of being vigilant.
Were there other areas within the district, like the Taupo foreshore, that Alison, that were more suitable, or like less swim traffic, etc., that you could operate out of financially?
I've discussed the application with the Taupo Harbour Master, and he's quite comfortable with it. Can I just point out that the licence we're granting is really just for the occupation of the reserve itself, the ability to set up the little tent and sell the tickets. We don't control the water, so we can't actually stop the activity happening on the water anyway.
So that's a good clarification, Ms. Roddy. Are you telling us that the Harbour Master, Mr. Philip King, is comfortable with
Yes,
this there.
he is.
Well, that being the case, I think it allies most fears. Would I be fair in saying that? Councillor Minsher?
Yeah. I understand your concerns, but I think we have made an effort to situate the motorised activity as far along this way as it can comfortably operate.
Councillor Downer?
I'll move.
Oh, okay. Is there any further input or queries, questions any councillors want before I ask for a seconder? Is there a seconder? Councillor Craig? All those in favour? Aye.